This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Jody. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. I just cracked open this beer that I'm going to enjoy during this episode, and it's very fragrant.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So I'm going to take a drink right now.
Yeah,
I
realized I need to go back to the bottle shop and restock my fridge.
Man, I'm telling you, I buy all these beers for the show, and it's not like I'm sitting around drinking them when we're not recording. I generally don't drink a ton of beer when we're not recording. So I specifically get beverages that, for episodes. And I just looked in there and I'm like, man, I'm down to like 2 or 3. I swear I just went. And so I'm breaking into some of the stronger stuff, which I had kind of put off for a while, because we record relatively early in the day. So it's like, you're going to drink a 12% beer. That's going to leave a mark.
It's going to be over for the day.
Yeah. So, yes. So how are you doing? How's everything going?
Been good. I've been enjoying the weather. Business has been good for Bearskin. Things have been it's been weird because we used to get huge spikes at the beginning of the month when we launched stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But stuff has been more just kind of steady all month long. So it's always, it seems like, oh my God, people aren't buying what we are, whatever the new print is. But then you go back and look at the numbers and it's like, oh, they're just buying it the entire month at the same kind of rate.
Yes.
Not with that big spike. So it's always like, oh my God, people didn't like, whatever desert berries or whatever thing. And I'm like, oh, go back and look. And it's like, oh, actually it did really well. It just, so we've just been going over numbers, trying to plan, get things figured out for next year, like what prints did well, what things,
sure,
all that stuff for next year, getting that planned. And we were just going over numbers yesterday, and it was just kind of weird looking at the numbers like, oh, okay, it's just been, people's shopping habits have changed from what it used to be a few years ago. So
sure. Yeah, it's always interesting to stop and look back at that stuff, actually take a real look at, okay, well, these are the trends I'm seeing. This is what's working and what we need to change a little, or these things are selling and I didn't quite realize this. I run into that with Chubstr, kind of looking at trends on what people are interested in, what they're buying, what they're coming to the site for, even, what's getting them there, that kind of thing. It's always interesting.
Yeah. And it's hard to predict because it's been such a weird couple of years. People's
definitely
shopping habits have really changed, and things are getting tough with inflation and prices and everything for everybody. So who knows what's going to happen in the rest of this year and into next year. So
absolutely,
you just figure out something and hope for the best.
Right. So speaking of work, last week we had a photo shoot for Chubstr, and it was a swimwear shoot, which is probably, if you're listening to this, is probably out by now. It had a number of models, and it was kind of something we put together sort of last minute, trying to get everything logistically together. Basically, the idea for the swimwear shoot was we wanted to feature several brands that offer swimwear in extended sizes, because there are a few different places you can go, different prints, whatever your preferences are. And so wanted to have models with different looks, different body types, so on and so forth, and put that together. And as tends to happen with these things, once you lock in models, life happens. And some of them had to drop out. And so I had replaced one, and then there was one slot that I did not have filled. And so I went to one of the finest models that I could ever find. And well, that's you, Jody.
I was like, who was that?
You were graciously willing to step in as I pleaded for you to.
Yes. At first I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm like, we'll find someone. And then I was like, yeah, I can do this. It's fine. an
Yes.
excuse to get in the pool and yeah.
Right. And that pool was nice. That whole
Yeah.
area was really cool. It's we got this pool that's was here in a, you know, kind of far out area of Portland, and um it was sort of tiki themed, Hawaiian kind of
Uh-huh.
themed.
Uh-huh.
You know, had hot tub, basketball and tennis court. It was pretty fancy. It was pretty cool. And
Mhm.
so we had all the models there and did the whole thing, and we're able to kind of show off, you know, not just the awesome brands that were involved, but also some bigger guys wearing the stuff. And um, I'm excited about everything we were able to do. We even got some underwater video.
Yep.
So
Yep. That was fun doing that.
yeah,
It's amazing how like you think you can hold your breath for a while until you're like, I got to stay under for this amount of time and like look graceful.
totally. Yeah. Grace was out the window for
I was
sure.
like, don't flail around and blow bubbles everywhere.
I know.
I'm like, think of what does a mermaid look like? What
I'm
is King Triton? That's what I
Right.
am right now. I'm
Yes.
graceful under the water.
Yes. I was.
I don't know how it turned out. I hope we got some decent
know.
shots.
Yeah. By the time this is out, we should all know how that worked out. So we'll see.
Yes, I will never show my face again because I
yeah.
look ridiculous underwater.
It was fun, and shout out to Beth Olson, photographer extraordinaire, who did the shoot and has done a number of Chubstr shoots in the past. She's also been our first and only guest on Heavy Conversation.
Yes, she was amazing. It's always fun.
Yeah,
hanging out with her. And
definitely it's so much fun. I love working with photographers and just kind of seeing what their ideas are and kind of what they come up with, and like how they direct people. And so it's just interesting because it's always, I feel like they're always so different from like what I am thinking in my head, and that's a great thing. It's so cool to have somebody else come in who's like, okay, this is how we can do it.
It's nice. Yeah, it is nice to have that other outside perspective and like, oh, have you thought of this? Or let's try this. And you're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Exactly. Or you're like, I don't know, that sounds really weird, but let's try it and see what happens. And
yeah,
and you're like, oh, that looks cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
it's nice. We have to try and use a couple different photographers. I'd like to try and get Beth to do one of our shoots one time.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it a lot of fun. So check those out. Even if you've got trunks, look at what's at the shoot. There were a lot of different options. Some awesome bearskin trunks. So I was super impressed with what you guys had put together, and they looked great on you. So
yeah, they always feel nice.
Yeah.
Too bad we didn't get you in the little
Speedos, I know. We ran out of time.
Yeah.
That's always the thing, is like, as I'm, kind of producing all the stuff and figuring out, logistics and everything, I'm learning that I need more time than I planned for. So, we were we were right down to the wire. I mean, we went over a little bit, and so unfortunately I forgot to throw those on. I mean, we even kind of forgot about the hot tub and got a couple shots in there.
I know, right at they're like, oh, whoops. Oh.
Yeah. So, but it was a lot of fun. It's been so much fun to get back to doing shoots and doing things like that with other people, and just getting out there and kind of meeting new people and seeing, just I don't know, getting people in front of the camera. And you also kind of, I think it's easy to forget that doing things like this and having like new models come in or new people in front of the camera is so meaningful to people that don't get to do this that often, and don't see themselves portrayed this way. And
we get people like get really nervous about it. Like they're like, yeah, I want to do it, and then like a day before or something, they start getting nervous about it, and I'm like, it's gonna be fine. Like, right, us, me, like we'll be there. It's not a big deal. Yeah, like we're just gonna chat and hang out, and don't worry about the camera, just come and hang out. And then after they do it, they're like, oh my god, that was so fun. And right, I'm like, yeah, it's really not as hard as you think. It's like I don't want you posing. I don't want you doing a thing. Just come and hang out, and yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Or
Definitely.
people are, they just get, worried about, oh, it's not going to turn out well and whatever. And I'm like, it'll turn out the way it turns out, and
yeah,
we'll make the best of it.
Right. And a good photographer can, direct people and make it work. You know kind of what you're looking for. And it is definitely interesting. I think that has been a big piece of the puzzle that I've seen over the years, as I've been lucky enough to work with lots of different photographers that run the spectrum, just to see how they handle direction, how they can make people feel comfortable in front of the camera, those kind of things that make a big difference. So
yeah, it absolutely does. And
yes,
you got to be able to direct people a little bit.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I think that this is going to be the first of several kind of group photo shoots that we're going to do through Chubstr, that cover a lot of different products and all kinds of things, different subjects. Nice. So yeah, check it out.
Beth was great. She made us all feel, at least made me feel pretty comfortable. I already knew her. I wasn't too worried about anything, but
yeah,
she did really well with directing and getting different, making sure you got all the shots that you wanted. And yeah,
I could tell this was not your first time modeling, because some of those poses I was like, okay, he's done this before. You could just tell.
Well, and I've been on the other side of like, okay, like you gotta move around, and
right
during the dancing, that was fun.
Yes,
I'm still waiting for that video of your new dance move.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna start a new TikTok trend, TikTok dance.
It's gonna be classy for sure.
Yeah, you just gotta step back from Bruce when he's dancing. You might want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of
elbow,
a lot of flailing. There's a lot of flailing. That's my trademark.
They're like, oh, what's he doing? Okay, just back up a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. It's over at chubstr.com. You'll see the swimwear shoot. It's up there with the article and feature on each of the brands and why they are so awesome. So thank you again, Jody.
It was my pleasure. I'm sure I will be able to step in again when needed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So speaking of pleasure, this beer that I went ahead and started on is actually fantastic.
What did you get?
So I went to the Midwest I didn't go to, I'm pulling from the Midwest.
I'm like, what?
To bring this beer, which is Boulevard Brewing's Rye on Rye. It is a rye ale aged in rye whiskey barrels.
Oh boy.
Yes, barrel aged. It is, let's see if they say anything about it. They really don't need to say much about it because it's just fantastic. It is 12.2%. So, this is the end of my day. Basically. It is definitely strong, very smooth, a little sweetness, which
is it the 21 or the 22?
It is the,
does it say?
Let's see. So
I see Rye on Rye 2021.
Okay, this is the 22. It looks like it was it looks like it was born on March 18th of 2022. So yes, I know that with some of these you can kind of, it says drink it by 2024, but that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, smooth. It is rich. You can really taste the whiskey, but it's not like a slap to the face. It's like it all goes together in a really interesting way. I'm always hit or miss with beers like this, but it's not so heavy that I dislike it. I actually really enjoy this and would definitely drink it again.
No longer in production? I can't find it.
I would say that this is one that I would go back to, and I would probably break it out on special occasions, like the recording of Heavy Conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not finding it. I'll have to dig. They have like a
Okay.
every year they have a new one, so I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oop, I'm gonna spill mine apparently.
Oh.
I have a super hard seltzer, fruit smash, super hard seltzer,
Ooh.
pineapple punch.
Oh, nice.
It's an 8% ABV,
Okay.
a knockout of tropical flavors that will have you ready for round 2. Of course, they're gonna
Nice.
knock me out in the first round. I don't know.
uh,
Mm.
oh,
Oh, that's not too bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was gonna be way more fruity.
I kind of like that. That's not too bad.
That's not too well. I was like, oh, I don't like these.
Not
And
too
I'm
good
like,
either.
oh, it's not too bad. No, it's fine. But it's
Good.
made with real juice. There's actual pineapple juice in there. So that's
Oh,
kind of
wow.
good. Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, passion fruit concentrate, pineapple juice. Yeah, this one's good. But the high ABV seltzer.
Yes. Well,
Say
good.
goodbye to your basic seltzer.
There we go.
There's a kangaroo, a boxing kangaroo smashing it.
Fruit smash.
Fruit
Nice.
smash.
Well, good. Well, there we
This
go.
This is a nice one for this nice sunny day today, and I don't think it's under 90 degrees today, so that's nice too.
Yes. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
I'm definitely. All right, I need a little picture of you.
All right, let me
I'm
grab
sorry.
my beer here. Let's see.
If I don't,
Right.
as long as I don't spill everything. I kind of like this one. I'll have
There we
to
go.
maybe try and get a couple more. Boop-a-doo. Thank you, rye.
There we go. Rye.
Rye.
Rye on rye. I found it there in Untapped. And if you want to peruse the beers that we've enjoyed over the years, go to Untapped, the Untapped app, and search the Heavy Conversation beer list, and you will find the things that we are enjoying or not enjoying, but trying. Speaking of not
trying to
enjoying, I have to tell you about something else that I tried that was it was mighty horrifying. So
what have you been doing?
So I've got this Costco membership, right? And it's a whole new world because you can go and you can find all kinds of things that you probably don't necessarily need. And as we were going up and down the aisles, getting a few things, I came across something called the Pia Hopia cake or Hopia cake. I'm not sure. I'm going to show you this picture right here.
Pia.
Yes.
Yeah. What is
it
that?
It is a a pack of tiny dessert cakes that are made from durian fruit. And I don't know if
what is that?
I don't know if you're familiar with durian, but it is a mighty stinky fruit that apparently people really like the taste of. If you can get past the smell, it's supposed to be flavorful and interesting. And I've seen, I'm sure it was like Bizarre Foods or something years ago that where he was eating it, or Bourdain or one of those, and I had never tried it. And they happen to have these, and we saw them once and skipped it. Saw them again. It was a pack for $5. I thought, why not? So we got the pack. We took it home. Let me show you what the actual little cake looks like here. So that is so.
Okay.
Since you're listening, folks, you can't see it, but it's a tiny cake that's probably a little bigger than a chicken nugget, I would say. And you open the individual package, pull it out. There's a bit of a smell, and it was intense. I had to work myself up to actually.
Like, what does it smell like? Like, what?
Let me pull up the description here.
What does it smell like?
Because after I ate it, I posted to my personal Instagram.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. Little durian cakes are heinous as hell. Smells like hot onion diarrhea and tastes like doom. Do not recommend. So
one more time.
Little durian cakes are heinous as hell. Smells like hot onion diarrhea and tastes like doom. Do not recommend. So I
even
couldn't.
even the taste of it, you couldn't
It was
didn't make
so
up for that.
the smell was so horrifying. Like I don't I don't even know if I can
Uh.
describe it, but it was so bad. And then finally we were just gonna throw it, but my kids were there and I felt like I at least needed to take a bite and actually do this thing because we
Mhm.
bought it and it's kind of an adventure, a horrible smelly adventure, but it felt like I
Yeah, it's
needed
good to try.
Right. It's good to try. And so I took a bite and oh, it was like the smell was just so overpowering. It was like, and I'm not a fan of onions anyway. And this is what it registered to me as. Other people say it smells like death or stinky feet or,
Yeah, there's a gas leak.
yeah, right.
Someone said
Right. So it's different for different people, but for me, it was like
tastes
next
like
level.
spoiled onions.
Yes. Yes. And so the flavor of the fruit tasted about as bad as it smelled. It had this, it tasted like some kind of, oh man, I don't know. It was like, it's so hard to describe, like not like cleaning solution, but like something that
Mhm.
should not be eaten, like something that was made for industrial use. I don't even know, just something
Yeah.
horrible. And so I took the one bite, swallowed it down, threw the rest out, promptly took the trash out because you can't leave that
Yeah. Yeah.
festering in your house. So I am sure that someone listening to this has enjoyed durian, likes it, likes those cakes. Maybe you can tell us a little more about it. Hit us
Well,
up
it looks
at
like
Movie
a
Convo.
traditional Vietnamese
Right, right. But
dessert thing. So
I just, yeah, it's next level funky. So I am very curious, what's the people who
but
like it, I'd like
you
to know why.
tried, you followed through and you
Mhm.
did it. So
And I mean, I love being able to try things, but I've tried it once and that was good enough for me. So,
mhm,
you
mhm.
know, so yeah, it was something else. It was something else.
So,
So, do not recommend. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Um,
just you couldn't just close your nose and eat it and
no, because the taste was also just this like, I don't know. I keep coming back to like metal, like dusty old. I don't even know what it was. Just like something that was not meant to be eaten.
okay.
So you know, I applaud anyone else who likes this, and if you've grown up with it and it's a thing that you're into, then great. But my palate is apparently not sophisticated enough to be able to take whatever had happened there. So I'm glad I tried it, and I'm glad it's done.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
I was trying to think of any weird things I've had lately, and I haven't really
yeah.
been too adventurous in my food choices lately.
Well, see, that's the thing is like I've uh tried different like stinky cheeses.
Mhm.
I was at the Embarcadero in uh San Francisco, and there was this cheese sampling place, a creamery. I think it might be Cowgirl Creamery, maybe. Anyway, they had this cave cheese, and uh it was funky. The smell was very not good, but I tried it. The cheese inside was actually very mild.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking that this might be a similar thing, and it definitely was not. So
Okay.
I'm curious how somebody found this and thought, okay, you know what, here we go, we got
Let's
a
make
food. Yeah,
a weird dessert thing out of this.
right, right. So I
Yeah,
probably
it's
need to.
all regional
It is.
different things and
It is for sure. So yeah, so there we go. There we go. My thoughts on durian cakes.
ugh, I don't know that I could do it.
So speaking of strange and interesting, I do have one other thing that happened over this past week that
Okay.
was weird as hell. So I get up in the morning and go into my living room, and you've been in my house before, and you know it's a split level, and on the top,
Yeah.
we've got kind of like a living room and a big like picture window, this giant window that looks out the front, and you can see down the street and all that. So get up and like every morning, head out and kind of look out the window, see what's going on, and I look across the street and I see a man, and he is standing in front of my neighbor's house, and he is bent over at the waist, and he has something on his back. And I look closer, and I see that he has a parrot on
Oh,
his
jeez.
back, a pretty good sized green parrot, and the guy stays like this, bent over like this, and he would swing every so often. But this parrot, when he would swing, would just kind of move, turn a little, and move a little further down his back or up to his where his shoulder was or whatever. And this guy just stayed there swinging like this for he had been there before I got up. So I watched him for a good 15 minutes trying to figure out what was going on here. And um, he finally, after 15 minutes or so, looked up, stood straight up. The parrot went up to his shoulder, and he stumbled off. He tripped on the sidewalk, and the parrot kind of flapped its wings, and the guy took off. He was on something magical, whatever he was on.
Well,
He and his parrot had had a wild night. I know that much. So
oh, poor parrot.
yeah, it was something else, and only in Portland.
I was like, yeah, he was just taking his parrot for a walk.
Yeah, yeah, it was next level. Like,
I don't even consider that super weird, really. I mean, I feel like I've seen plenty of people walking around with birds and parrots in the city.
yeah, but
Not a lot, but like a few.
I'll have to. I did take video because I was trying to understand what was happening, and I will
Well,
send
yeah. If he
this
was bent
video.
over, like, what are you doing?
He was he was standing, but he was bent over. So he was standing up, and he was bent at the waist. So he was just like he just. I'll stand here on the Zoom. So instead of just standing up, he was just like,
And the parrot was standing on his back.
and the parrot was standing on his back, and he was doing that, not moving, not acknowledging anybody else. Cars were driving by, and we're in a neighborhood that doesn't get a ton of traffic, and so this car drives by, and this lady is like looking out her window trying to figure out what's going on.
Like,
Nothing.
what?
Nothing, oblivious to the whole thing. And he just every so often he'd kind of swing his arms, but he was standing in front of my neighbor's house, and my neighbor is an elderly gentleman, so I kind of watching out to see what's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
And I mean, the guy was definitely he was in the throes of something, but it was it was so weird. It was definitely there's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, it's Portland, you expect weirdness, but this was something else. So
Yeah.
yeah. So then he got up and he walked down the street, stumbled a little, and that was the last we saw of him. Nobody knew. And I ended up talking to other neighbors as I happened to be out, later in the day. And they were like, "Did you see the bird guy?" And so everybody saw the bird guy.
Like, what the hell?
And we
is this
weren't
guy
quite
doing?
sure. Yeah, weren't quite sure what was going on. And by the time
Yeah, if he was
anybody,
just on his shoulder, like, okay, cool, whatever. But
right. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. Like a guy with a bird. Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's
okay.
interesting enough. Sure,
Yep. But
whatever.
what are you doing over there, crazy?
But this was out of the ordinary. This was like,
Are you trying to teach your bird tricks, or
well, at first that's what I thought. Maybe he's trying to train the bird, but then
but he just stood there for
yeah. This
too
was
long?
right. By about 10 minutes, it was like, okay.
Or did the parrot like attack you and now it's just hanging out on your back? Or
Oh, right. Did the maybe
like
the right? Maybe the parrot took him over. I don't know. Dominated him.
It possessed his body and like, you will walk me around.
Right. I don't know. It was so weird.
Body snatchers.
Yeah. It was strange. So I think he and the parrot must have gone out and torn it up. And that was because it was pretty early. It was.
I mean, they were probably.
7.
He thought he was tearing it up right then,
Probably. I don't think he realized where he was. And my neighbor across the street, when I talked to him about it, he said, "I got up and I came to my window and I looked out and there he was. And he happened to kind of look toward me and see me, and that's when he stood up and he walked off. He looked really confused.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I think so. So you never know what you're going to get, especially here. So
Mhm.
it's always interesting. So there we go.
Maybe maybe they're practicing a whole skit and a routine, and
Maybe I have
they're going to
many
be
questions.
they're going to be on the next America's Got Talent or something.
Yep.
And be like, remember that time I saw that guy with the parrot on his back? They got a show in Vegas now.
Yep. Maybe so.
Oh boy.
Well, good. Well,
I do enjoy the weirdness of Portland. I wish
Mhm.
I hope it continues to stay weird.
Yeah.
I know I'm trying to help it stay weird, and I don't know if I shared this on here. I was in a promotional video or for the Portland Sea Slack. He's like that lizard guy that wanders around, and so he is going to be. There's a big project coming up that we're going to be helping out with, or that I will be helping out with. So it's not all together yet, but filmed a promo video.
Well, you're gonna have to tell us all about it when it's
it'll be. So go look up the Portland Sea Slack. It's from like a what is it, the something lagoon? Oh, I forgot what it was.
The creature from the Black Lagoon,
something like that. I was like, is it the black or the blue? I don't remember. But yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if it has a gender.
Sure.
The Sea Slack wanders around Portland, and you never know where they might show up. And
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like to keep it weird.
That's good. It's part of the grand tradition of this city. Yep. Well, good. Yeah, that's all I got. So,
well, I'm going to be finishing this fruit smash because it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through this.
8% alcohol, but whatever.
Yeah, halfway through this rye on rye. So I don't think I'll be filming any videos or anything for Chubstr. So we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Jody.
Thanks for sharing your parrot story.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.